Welcome back to another episode of Toy Tuesdays with Talent. Today's episode, we're going to be covering X-Men 97 Wave 2, starting with Cyclops. Let's get into it.
Cerebro, activate.
Cerebro, online.
Please pull up file Cyclops X-Men 97 2024.
Accessing file X-Men 97 Cyclops 2024. Cyclops, Scott Summers. First appearance. The X-Men #1, September 1963. Created by Stan Lee, writer, Jack Kirby, artist.
Cyclops' first appearance was in X-Men #1 in 1963. When Scott was 16, he was recruited by Professor Xavier and became the first official member of the X-Men. Scott would go on to become the leader of the X-Men, as he is in the animated series as well as continuing in X-Men 97. In the 97 episodes, Cyclops is finally given his due, and we get to see just how awesome he is and what makes him a great leader and master tactician. Cerebro, can you please pull up the action figure?
Cyclops, X-Men 97 Wave 2, released in 2024. Retail price, $24.99. Aftermarket price, high, $49.99. Low, $25.99. Accessories, 3 alternate hands, alternate head, power effect.
This action figure of Cyclops is perhaps my favorite Cyclops thus far. Although it is the design for X-Men 97, it fits well in any of your 90s X-Men displays. It also came with a bunch of accessories, which is fantastic. In my opinion, all Cyclopses should at least come with an optic blast. Not only do we get an optic blast, but we also get an alternate head and 3 alternate hands. As far as action figures go, this one is where you definitely get the bang for your buck. He is also pinless, which is fantastic, but I think we're coming to expect that from figures coming out after 2023. If you're looking for a Cyclops for your collection, I highly recommend this X-Men 97 Cyclops. Cyc has had some amazing moments in X-Men 97, but one of my favorites has to be in episode 1, when the Blackbird is destroyed by a Sentinel and all the X-Men are crashing towards the ground. The entire team is rescued by the mutants that can fly, with the exception of Cyclops, who says, "Good job, team, I'll see you on the ground," and then proceeds to nosedive straight down, and moments before crashing to Earth, he unleashes an immense optic blast, slowing his fall and landing in the quintessential superhero pose. And that was just one of the unique ways that he used his powers in 97. And speaking of powers, let's check out his powers and abilities.
Powers and abilities, optic blasts, spatial awareness, energy resistance, master tactician and strategist.
The main power Cyclops is known for is his optic blast. These blasts are powerful beams of energy emitted from his eyes, which have the appearance of red light and deliver massive concussive force. Contrary to popular belief, they are not lasers and they don't burn, but rather punch and pulverize whatever they hit. These blasts are so powerful that they can even punch a hole through a mountain, which we actually got to see in Season 1, Episode 8. Like most mutants, there is a downside to their powers, and in Cyclops' case, he can't open his eyes without powerful concussive blast destroying whatever he looks at. Luckily, Professor Xavier was able to equip him with his iconic ruby quartz visor, which contains the energy until Cyclops activates the visor shield to retract, unleashing fury. In addition to his optic blasts, and most likely related, he has an uncanny sense of spatial awareness, which allows him to do advanced trigonometry without even thinking about it. His observation of objects around himself and the angles found between the surfaces of these objects is known to him subconsciously, allowing him to ricochet his blast or reflect them off those objects in a trajectory to his liking, most commonly known as a bank shot. There have been times Cyclops was observed causing beams to reflect from over a dozen surfaces in the course of one blast and still hit the intended target. His last power is energy resistance, but it is limited to his own power and the power of his brothers, who are also immune to his ability. Beyond his mutant powers, Cyclops is a master tactician and strategist. As well as an expert pilot, expert martial artist, he's multilingual and highly educated. All of these factors go into making him an incredible leader, on par with the likes of Captain America. Okay, Cerebro, can you please pull up the power grid?
Accessing power grid. Analyzing subject.
If you'd like to check out the stats for these, you can do so yourself on the Marvel Metal Cards, or you can go to marvel.fandom.com, and they have a variation of the power grid on there. First up, as always, strength. He is at a 2. normal human. As I said in last week's episode with Morph, I don't always agree with these stats because you take one look at Cyclops and tell me he's not at least athletic. However, at marvel.fandom.com, as well as the metal cards, he's at a 2, so we're just gonna leave it up there, but in my head, he's at least a 3. Let's go over to intelligence. He's at a 4. World-class chess champion, above a straight-A student, and it makes sense. He's been living in a school since he was 16, being taught by one of the world's most intelligent men, Professor Charles Xavier. And as I said, with his brother Havoc, you gotta be a smart person to successfully lead a team. And although a lot of people are not big fans of his, in the Marvel Universe, he is widely regarded as one of the most incredible team leaders there is, and is amongst the most respected. Next up is speed. He's at a 2. Normal human. This is another one I'm gonna have to disagree with. All the years of training in the danger room, all the battles he's been through, you're telling me this man is not at least athletic? I beg to differ, but I'm just reporting it as I get it. On to fighting ability. He's at a 4. World heavyweight champ. Above a black belt, not quite to mutant fighting ability. Cyc can hold his own in most hand-to-hand combat situations. He holds black belts in judo and aikido, and his level of skill is sufficient to defeat 6 normal men with his eyes closed. He's been able to hold his own in hand-to-hand combat against Wolverine. However, the longer that goes on, we all know how that one would end. Let's go to stamina. He's at a 3, athletic. At least they gave him that. As stated before, all the years training have built up his stamina, giving him the ability to stay in the fight longer than any normal human. Next up is agility. He's at a 4, Olympic gold medalist. That can definitely be seen in X-Men 97 from the very first episode where we see him flipping around, dodging blasts and countering attacks. His agility is on display in a big way all throughout the first season, and it was awesome to see. For the last category, we have energy blast. I think we all know what's coming with this one. He's at a 7, supernova, exploding sun. There are very few characters in the Marvel Universe that have a blast that powerful, hence the need for him to wear the visor at all times. Looking at his overall stats, his high level of intelligence, exceptional fighting ability, agility, and his incredible energy projection, Scott Summers is definitely equipped with everything you need to be an exceptional leader. And whether you hate him or love him, you cannot deny the man's uncanny abilities. When assigning Scott to any team, he's going to be my leader. And although he's not perfect, he is a reliable, trustworthy, and compassionate leader, often called a Boy Scout or the Captain America of mutants. Before we get out of here, Cerebro, let him know.
Be sure to check out X-Men 97 Reactions with Talent. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, please check out X-Men 97 Season 1. All episodes are up and available to watch, and I would greatly appreciate it if you'd subscribe and like the video. It helps a ton. I'm Talent, reminding you, keep collecting. And until next time, Excelsior!